Today's best music.
Magic 89.9.
No, it's interesting because now that we don't have taping, we don't know when taping for us is going to resume. Of course, we need to still find ways on how to earn to make a living. So what Mick and I have been doing is we've created an office setting in our house and we've set office hours for ourselves. But to actually get to that process of actually getting those hours and getting an office, it was kind of a struggle for me because I'm not used to, doing things at a controlled pace because taping, they go on for hours and sometimes you don't even know what's happening. But doing like a sort of 9 to 5 was
Yeah.
very new for me. And I didn't have the tempo in it. Like, wala yung rhythm ko nun eh. So those
Or the discipline.
or the discipline.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
Let's
I'm
be
a
honest.
procrastinator.
Let's be honest.
And those would bring up very interesting conversations that Mick and I would have very often, almost every day. And it even came to the point now one day, everything that I did was just not in tempo and not in order. It was like wrong. Everything that I was doing was, not right. And it was a very frustrating day for me, let's be honest. So I mean, these are things that we didn't think that we would have to go through. Kasi nasa taping kami, we have our own space and our own time to ourselves. But wow, I didn't think that these were topics that we would actually have to like tackle on every single day.
Yeah, no, just to add to that story and just give a bit, maybe an anecdote or two.
Go ahead.
I guess Megan and we fell into a hole where we were trying to figure out what we can do to survive, as you were saying a while ago. And the work that we had to do is not something that Megan was used to. I was a bit more used to it because I was naturally a bit more into business. But for Megan, who got into showbiz at such a young age, she was never really exposed to those kinds of office settings where you have to do administrative work and you really have to keep yourself in check when it comes to the time. If not, things will pile on. So,
And I think it's also because you're more of a natural leader and I'm more naturally a follower.
yeah.
So I think when it came to the point that I had to be a leader, like we both had
Yeah.
to lead in this, it was a struggle for me because I didn't have that initiative to like do things right away. I would always wait for him like to tell me, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that. But Mikael was like, I can't always tell you what to do. You need to know what you need to do para maging team tayo. Hindi pwedeng siya lang or hindi pwedeng ako lang. Kailangan dalawa kami na mag-work dito to make it work.
And might I add, I said that in the sweetest way possible.
Yes, he did.
And in the opposite way of sweet.
Well, it's sometimes not about the message, but how you deliver the message. That's sometimes key in everything. Joyce, who is better in handling crisis? In your opinion, in your early stages of your relationship and now the marriage, a few months, February.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here in terms of handling crisis? Whether it's a pandemic or anything else?
Yeah, I think I'm a little better just in that I'm a bit more robotic than Wancho. Between the two, it's true. Look at him laughing. It's true because I'm not very emotional. And in parts, this.
What?
I'm not very emotional.
You have changed. You have changed.
Meron ako story behind it. Okay, so
Wait. Okay.
after
Sige,
Joyce,
go. Floor is
Yeah,
yours.
so when it comes to like business and things that need to be done, I'm very robotic in that I feel something, but I tend to shut it off. Maybe that's why I have a lot of issues because it boils up and it pens up and then it becomes a huge problem. But I handle crisis in a way that I don't really think about how I feel at the moment. I think about the solution that needs to be done so I can get out of the crisis. Whereas Wanch is a bit more compassionate and sensitive in a way that he actually feels a lot for everything that's happening. So it affects him on a more personal level. What was your anecdotal kwento?
so how
Nanggigigil
do
eh.
I say this? A lot of the interesting days we've had here in Casa Trevino came out of my being emotional. And I'll tell you why that is happening. I am for about 9 years already. I've been acting, and 90 plus days na ako hindi umaarte. So lumalabas na lang yung emotions ko here at home, and I tend to just be overly emotional about a lot of things. I can safely say that it could have avoided a lot of interesting days, but well, that's who I am, and a lot of we've been tested, yeah. We've been tested, and a lot of things were built because of and agreed upon based on the interesting days that we've had. So I wouldn't take that for granted, also.
Thanks for the interesting term.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's being thrown around, huh?
Entirely.